Yeah, I don't know yet.
Okay, the one in Africa there is growing 10 a year, so you got lots of time. 10 a year.
Yeah, it's because it's got um, jungle.
Alrighty.
I wonder how long that siege is going to have to be in place before they become Crete.
I think it takes, um, I think it's 10 years. What does it say when it comes up if you have a rebel take over one of your territories? It says like they gain a core in 10 years, I think, isn't it?
No, they gain a core and you'll have nationalism for 10 years.
Yay, freaking slaves. Is that something to be excited for? Really?
Slaves are good.
Like they showed up in the province, already designated somehow the span of the territory. All these borders are somehow already designated. And they looked around and they're like, well, there's the most valuable resource right here are other human beings. Is that what they did?
Pretty much.
Okay. I'm glad this Let's Play has a few good historical comments.
Yay, coffee.
I think it is beneficial to the viewers that they get some accurate historical information in their diet when they watch these LPs. Oh, and friggin' Spain just beat up the Oyos. What are they called again?
Oyo.
The Oyos.
O-Y-O.
The evil
Oyo.
Oyos. Actually, they were evil. They were an evil people. Oh, more rebels. Now playing. Hey, you're playing the same game I am. It just came up on my Steam that you were
Oh, hey,
playing.
did I forget to log out of that?
What?
Oh, well. I said, oh, hey, did I forget to log out of that? Oh, well.
Oh, okay. Should have asked him to join. All right, song, you're getting totally taken over this time, not just half. It's gonna be the full deal, full dealio.
This fight is not going as well as it should because I've been kind of half-assing it.
Against two Ottomans.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Kandar is taken out. Are they hitting Ottomans too? No, they're just hitting the Algiers. Is I guess there's not an equivalent of the HRE in the Muslim world, right? But is there something the Ottomans get about, like, I assume that there's some sophistication with the missions you get with if you play as the Ottomans. But what about the other ones? Like, what about Kandar or Georgia? Do you get
Um,
missions?
not a lot of different nations have specific nation-specific missions.
Okay.
The Ottomans have a bunch, mostly dealing with conquering, like, to the extent of the Ottoman territory.
Right. Yeah, I figured that much.
But a lot of the minors don't really have any flavor stuff. Many of the ones in Europe do, but outside of that, not so much.
Like, what about lowly Cyprus? If you're Cyprus, what do? What is there to do? Or if you're Crete, the Isle of Crete, like, what do? You sit there, hang out on the Isle.
You don't actually start as Crete because unless you start later on because Venice owns it.
Oh, okay.
And then if you become Crete, you just kind of sit there. And if you're the knights, you just pray that you don't get eaten by the Ottomans.
Don't they? Aren't they Corfu? The knights?
They're roads.
Oh, roads. Okay. That's all they get. The knights.
You bet.
Well, what do you do?
You hope, pray that you don't get eaten by the Ottomans.
Well, you can't just sit there for 300 years.
What else are you going to do?
Well, don't they? Did they not have a mission? Did EU3 developers not give them missions and stuff to do?
Their mission is to pray that they don't get eaten by the Ottomans.
Like, I guess historically, the knights did they do nothing? They just kind of showed up
by the Ottomans.
Okay, well, yeah, I just wonder whether they tried in the game. They tried to make a path.
The knights were the remnants of the last Crusaders. They They basically were using Rhodes as a launching point against the Ottomans and the I don't know, Egyptians. I don't remember who the hell it was at the time.
Right.
And so they used it there. And so when they ended the crusade, some of them stuck there. So really, at the point at which the game starts, they have no purpose.
Okay.
Their purpose is to pray that they don't get eaten by the Ottomans.
Yeah,
There's
like
somebody that I saw that did a world conquest as Rhodes. He started off by doing a gambit to take over Cyprus. Then he ended up managing to take over Cyprus, and then just waited. And when he got a core on Cyprus, then he started island hopping around, and eventually he got to the point where he could take on the Byzantine stuff, do some actual forward progression. More power to him, right?
yeah, I wonder. Like, of course it's easy to make up missions for nations that historically did something, like the HRE. All that stuff is all historical. But what about nations who basically got run over? You have to come up with something that they potentially could have done, right? Like anything in France, like if you start as Avignon or start as Berry or Orleans, you're a nobody because you historically just got run over by France, right? Or you entered the empire.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot. But if you go as them long enough, you can become France.
Right.
And then you'll get all sorts of French flavor stuff. You're much more likely to have flavorific joy if you're a larger nation.
I just find it too easy. Like playing as the Ottomans would just be ridiculous. Although I suppose the conquest, when the Holy Conquest begin, that sucks because you can have Spain or France or Britain walk over there and beat the crap out of you.
I would actually tell you what the biggest problem with the Ottomans is they start off and they're on the border of the Timurid.
That's not a big deal.
Well, hang on. And so after they start dealing with the Timurid, then the Golden Horde generally ends up on a border with them over at Silistria. And taking both of those at once is very difficult, especially when you have other enemies that you're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
But the thing about the Ottomans is if you start off and take out Kandar immediately because you've got cores on all their stuff and you want to beat Byzantium, do it.
Yeah.
Pick all of them and then take all the southern ones and then deal with
the
Ottomans or the Timurids and the Golden Horde. Yeah, and then deal with the Ottomans as the Ottomans. Kill after people. Very important.
So what you're saying is the Ottomans, even though they have a large size, they're in a humongous conflict zone.
Yes, they are in a constant state of war, and if you start to make progress towards Europe, or you get through Greece and start to move towards Europe, then you end up in a constant state of war because everybody gets holy wars against you.
Right. And then you've got England walking over with their humongous navy to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Just annoying big European nations.
I had an Ottoman game going, and at one point I conquered Naples, and so I landed on the boot, and so I had all of Greece up to the bottom edge of Bosnia and Serbia, which were my vassals,
Right.
and then I had the boot, and so immediately everyone and their mother starts declaring liberation wars and all that stuff to try to free the Nepalese Catholics from me.
Yeah.
And that caused me to annex Rome, and then it was just endless war from that point forward.
Yeah. Certainly, if you make, what's it called? If you make Roma not Catholic, then you get a little trigger for that.
Yep.
You get a missionary plus half or something.
You don't need to make it not Catholic. You just need to own it when you're not Catholic.
Okay.
And I did, and boy, did that make them mad.
I can imagine.
Because then Europe just was like, I was constantly at war with everyone in Europe.
Yeah. I wonder, okay, so what two nations do you think that are non-Catholic, what two nations do you think could help the Ottomans in all of that are nearby? That would kind of suppress the Europeans. What do you think two complementary nations would be? Because that might be a good three-way.
It's pretty difficult because the Ottomans are the only ones there that have a great deal of strength, because everybody else will fall behind a lot more than the Ottomans do, and they have less lots of troops. You okay there?
Yep. Yep.
But like the Mamluks are pretty good, and then anybody in the boot down there, the boot thing.
Yeah, I was thinking around the Mediterranean there. Although the Navy stuff is going to be tough because the bigger nations, they just have massive navies that are just run you right over. So I don't know if the Navy thing is advantageous. It might be a land thing that might be more advantageous. What about playing as nomads, or do you think that would be too crazy as well? And
I've
like
always wanted to try it, but I'm somewhat afraid of the idea.
Well, I've played the Golden Horde, and it sucked because you couldn't get out of war, and my war exhaustion was just ridiculous. And like your military power is decent, it's just you don't have control over when you're at war. You just kind of randomly just attack someone. You randomly go to war with people, so it's really hard.
It's not random. It's whenever the truce is end.
Like I couldn't get out of war long enough to get some war exhaustion down, so it just became too annoying with all the rebels. That was my experience anyways. Alright, I'm almost done with the Songhai. There's just two places left that are rebelled, actually. There we go. Oh no, I lost my COT at Bambic in Africa there. I guess it's just because it wasn't big enough and just kind of exploded or disintegrated.
They'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. So, just need to finish this. All right, what are you doing up there, Ottomans or?
Yeah, I'm dealing with the Ottomans and trying to build weapons.
No, you might help out yourself with that war if you move some of those 16s that are sitting there doing nothing in South America over to the Ottomans.
Yeah, I'm less interested in winning the war as I am dragging it out.
To get the infamy down?
No, to keep them from sieging Adirondack.
Oh, I see. So will it cede to Byzantium, even if they already exist?
No, it'll cede to Greece. I mean, it would cede to Byzantium if it was Byzantine rebels, but it was Greek rebels, so it'll become Greece.
Oh, okay. Okay. Done. There we go. Songhai has been completely pumped. Okay, so what am I taking? I'm taking Burr, because that's gold. What else? I'm probably going to release a nation. I don't think that's worthwhile. If I release a nation on Songhai, why bother? If there's any purpose to that. I don't think there really is. Any gold over here? Nope. Okay. Whoops. Cancel. No white piece. That would suck. Okay, I'm taking a new COT, and I'm taking a gold province. What's this one? Oh, why are these all foreign for me? Oh crap! It's because they're. I was wondering why the hell these African colonies were 4 in from me each, but it's because they're actually an alliance. They came in because of an alliance. I don't have a CB on them. So I'll just take 2 of them and take 8 in for me. No, I'll take this. Anyways, gonna